Hello, everybody, and welcome to StarNet Link. And today I thought I will go ahead and do a book review. The book review is called "Gift from the Stars." And it's about alien races, and it's by the author Elena Dana. Elena Dana. And the reason why I want to do a book review on this was because a friend from the UK have told me about this book to be used as a reference guide to help identify UFOs and also different alien ETs that I have been in contact with, as well as helping in order to spread awareness about this book to other people who have had encounters with face-to-face encounters with ETs or off-worlders, as well as helping people to identify different spacecrafts that they have seen in the skies. Um, I really like this book and I really connected to this book because some of the stuff that she talks about in this book correlates to a lot of the stuff that I have gone through. Um, she talks about meeting her star brother, which is called in the book Thorhan, and is similar to the type of experience that I have had when meeting my star family. Not only that, but what really struck me that really connected to me about this book is that she talks about that her real body is stored in stasis on their home world somewhere, and it's the same instances as me where my original or real body or just my starseed body is in stasis somewhere with my collective. And her story really coordinates with me because that was the only time that I have actually heard another starseed actually talk about the stasis talk, where their original body is in stasis somewhere and they have chosen to come and reincarnate here as a human, which is the same story that I have had with a couple of other walking starseeds. Some of the stuff that I probably talk about that really coordinated with my book and what I'm going to say is probably my anger a lot of starseeds. But after doing some research and talking to other walk-in starseeds and reading this book, it makes me really believe that there are not a lot of people that I have come across, and I really don't believe in the theory that everyone on this planet is a starseed. I just do not believe that. If everyone here on this planet is a starseed, then the world would be a lot different than it is now. I do believe, according to this book and others that I have talked about over the years, that there is a very, very, I guess, slow or small group of actual starseeds that have actual physical recall and physical interactions with their family or galactic family members, like real actual galactic family members or their collective, actually working and actually chosen to actually come here. Now, I can't really say that with everybody that I have come across, but more and more that I do research, the more and more of this theory has come into play, that not a lot of people that I have come across and not a lot of people that I have known are really starseeds. But more if I do research, it more proves the fact that there is a very small group of actual starseeds here on this planet. The other thing about this book that I really, really liked is that this book has a lot of good illustrations in this book. So I'm going to go ahead and show an example. So this is one of the examples of the book. I don't know if you guys can see it, but this is one of the examples of the book. You can see the illustration of the bean in the picture. And sometimes in the picture you'll see a spaceship or a spacecraft, and she gives really detailed inscriptions and background knowledge about different galactic beings that are part of the galactic Federation in her book. and that sort of have some sort of ties or connection, or them trying to work with Earth in general. The other really good thing about this book is that she also showcases different species of greys, which kind of confirmed my suspicion about the greys gray story, which I'll explain in a little bit. But here's an example of it. I don't know if you guys can see that. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, you can see that there's many different types of grays, and she has different illustrations to help people, figure out who they have been in contact with. So in her book, which kind of confirms my suspicion about the hybrid program, that the hybrid program has been going on for many years, and she discusses this in her book, that the gray story of them dying or their world has suffered some sort of cataclysm is actually false. And they're using that storyline to use it as a way to order to take over or control a planet. And it's the same type of thing that they are doing with the same thing that they're doing with the hybrid program. And the hybrid program is that they're using the hybrid program as a way of genetic harvesting of us, as well as using us as genetic slaves, which she talks about in this book. So it did confirm my speech. It did confirm my suspicions about the hybrid program with the Greys. And it did confirm that there are many different Greys that are working with the hybrid program, that some of them do implants and experimentation, and there are some Grey groups that only work on the hybridization program. And even though that some people might have different opinions about the hybrid program, but this book really did confirm a lot of my suspicions and a lot of my research. But for people who have a lot of contact with a lot of one-on-one face contact with alien beings, or have a lot of visual contact with UFOs, I would recommend getting this book as a reference to help people find who they have been in contact with. The other type of thing that I have found that is really, really interesting is that she does discuss different types of humanoid races. Like, for an example, she has different pictures of different humanoid races in her book that she discusses about, and the history of them and how they kind of connect with Earth in a sense. Let me give another example of this. Like, for an example, she also does talk about the Agarthans, which she does have in a picture, an illustration, a little bit backstory about them. So this book is really good for people to get some sort of background knowledge and understanding about this book. And the friend from UK who recommended me to read this book told me, and she also does discuss this in her book, that there was a point of time between the 1960s and the 1980s where the knowledge in this book was actually illegal to know and can have. And it's really interesting how much time has passed, as well as how readily available this knowledge is and how it can really help a lot of people. But on the other hand, it's just really amazing that someone has given her this information or knowledge to create a book and to help educate people about what is actually going on with Earth and who is working with Earth as a friend and not a foe. So it was really kind of interesting to read this book and learn from it. And there's really good information that I think a lot of people might actually really enjoy in this book. And she does talk about some of the personal experiences that she's dealt with. She does discuss different types of star clusters and helping people really understand the whole backstory of alien abductions and basically trying to educate people about different races. So if anyone is actually really interested in learning about this type of stuff, I would recommend this book to be a really, really good reference guide and really good at helping people figure out who they've been in contact with or even help people find their story origin. And I think this is really, really good knowledge in this book. Some of the knowledge in this book I do deem to be accurate because in the book she does talk about that she has worked one-on-one with her star brother, which is Thorhan, to confirm the knowledge that is in this book. And for people who are curious, Thorhan is, I think, a Palladian that he flies around Earth to help people and stop the galactic trade that's happening with the Greys. So he's the one that's trying to rescue humans from abductions and bring them back to Earth safely. So it's really good to hear that there are some efforts being done to stop abductions and to prevent them from happening further. But what is really, really interesting and what might really scare some people is the implants. And she does discuss that some of the Greys do physically implant physical implants with people that can cause severe harm to them in a sense. And it can be extremely difficult and also can be extremely difficult to remove. And she does discuss it in her book where one of the implants or the Greys have put inside her made her sterile because there was an accident that happened. And it makes me kind of wonder like how many people have gone through the hybridized program where they cannot have physical children here on Earth, but they can have physical children um up in the spacecraft in a sense. And it kind of perpetuates this type of thinking where they think that the Greys are sort of saviors because they're really good at genetics, and which kind of hones into the type of thinking and understanding that the more that we try to understand the cosmos, there's a lot of alien races that really do not have or very deceive a lot of us into thinking that they're really good but really not. And it makes us really wonder like who's actually on the side of actual the human race and who is against the human race. And what's really interesting about this book is that she does discuss reptilians, especially the draconians. Like for an example, she does have a brief illustration of different draconians and stuff. Like I understand they might not be entirely accurate, but she does discuss them in her book. I really hope that the information or this book review interests you in maybe getting this book or purchasing it. But if you have read this book, let me know what your opinions or thoughts are about this book. And thank you so much for listening and watching to my YouTube channel. Please like or share my videos, but thank you so much for listening into my videos. Please share my videos to other people that might be interested in learning about this type of information, who might need this type of book to help them use as a reference to help them figure out who they've been in contact with, as well as helping others identify different UFOs in their areas and who has actually been visiting Earth. And I think the more that we try to learn who's been visiting Earth, I think it might really help grasp the idea and help other people realize that The more that we learn about this stuff, the more that we can help others and prevent negative experiences and help them and to share their experiences as well. Thank you so much for listening to my YouTube channel. I really hope this information has helped you. And please like or share my videos.